You need to know what's happening right now in LA because boy, oh boy, it is not pretty. You see, LA is on fire right now with protesters going toe to toe with ICE agents, with many of these protesters being seen throwing rocks at cars that they believe are owned by federal agents or by law enforcement. Many fires have erupted alongside the destruction of most property, leading to, as you can imagine, the deployment of local authorities, including the deployment of 2,000 National Guard agents, of which have responded with the utmost violence signaled by Donald Trump. And so, why is this happening seemingly all at once? Is this 2020 all over again? Well, have you seen the state of America recently? People are in uproar in America for a plethora of reasons, whether that be the raiding of an unsuspecting downtown LA business or the raiding of innocent schools throughout the country. Hell, maybe it's the fact that, citizen or not, people are terrified moving both within or outside the country without the fear of being unlawfully detained or worse. So yeah, America doesn't really seem like the safest place to live in right now, and a lot of Americans are absolutely enraged at that fact, and they should be, because fact is a lot of Americans did not vote for this, believe it or not, even though some of them unfortunately did. And with both California's governor and LA's mayor both condemning the use of federal force for the LA protests today, of course, Donald Trump is still going to do what Donald Trump wants, regardless of who gets in his way or who gets hurt in the process.
Good people, before we dive into today's discussion, I want to make something absolutely clear. This video is not about taking sides, assigning a blame or fueling division. Instead, it is an educational deep dive, a space for us to learn together. I'll be exploring different perspectives, drawing insights from the creators of the clips that we are going to discuss, and also from your valuable comments. And yes, even me, I expect to learn alongside you. So let us approach this with open minds and commitment to understanding. So, good people, there is a video that has been circulating widely on social media, capturing a moment that is both raw and incredibly intense. It is a clip that, upon closer inspection, speaks volume, revealing layers of meaning far beyond what initially meets the eye. In the heart of what appears to be a chaotic protest against ICE, the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, you see a black man. He stands remarkably still amidst a storm of activity. Protesters are engaged in acts of smashing, screaming, and lashing out in anger and frustration. But he is different. He is not yelling. He is not participating in the direct confrontation. Instead, he is holding a camera, recording. He is observing the unfolding events with a quiet intensity. And then the critical moment arrives out of the swirling chaos. A protester turns not towards the institution they are rallying against, not towards ICE, not the police, not federal agents, but directly towards him. The protester demands to know why he is filming, right? This moment, in its starkness, resonates deeply. It hits hard because it captures a pervasive reality. Black people are consistently called upon to show up, to fight, to stand and in unwavering solidarity with various causes and movements. Yet, when we choose simply to bear witness, to observe, to document, we are suddenly perceived as the enemy, as the threat. So, this video at its core is not solely about immigration policy. It is not about just ICE. It's about the profound and often unspoken exhaustion that black people feel. It's about living a world that consistently seems to be on fire. And no matter how our involvement, whether we like the march or not, we repeatedly find ourselves getting burned. So guys, I'll be back with further analysis.
I was at the LA protest today before it got violent. Right now is sheer chaos. It's all over the news. I mean, people are burning down cars, breaking into places, vandalizing, just attacking law enforcement. And I just want to make something very clear that I do not support violence by any means. I don't think that riots and violence are ever the answer, especially not vandalizing or burning cars. Like, that's not something I support. However, I do want to make something also very clear that when I got there at 2 p.m. early, it was just a completely different protest. The people there were there to protest against ICE and the inhumane treatment of immigrants peacefully. I mean, there was people of all backgrounds, Black, Latino, Asian, young, old. I mean, people were passing out snacks, water, cheering, chanting peacefully. And it wasn't until we got down to the freeway that I noticed that there were some people there that were there to start violence. And I started to notice it because they were throwing things at the cops. yelling slurs at them, just trying to like incite a fight, like to get them to fight back. And I was like trying to tell them like stop throwing things, because first off, the police weren't throwing anything at us in the beginning. It wasn't until people from the top of the bridge were throwing things down to the police, and then the people down on the freeway were just trying to like get in the cops' faces and like yell at them, that things started to get a little bit crazy, right? And also before that, there were people that were caught in the middle of the freeway in their cars that I was trying to like help get out, and a couple other people were trying to also help them get out. But then there were people that were like trying to fight us on it, like, no, they need to stay here. And I'm like, no. Because for instance, there was an old lady there that was stuck, and I was like, we're not gonna keep this old lady here. And then the next thing you know, cops are throwing rubber bullets, and then God forbid one hits this old lady. Like, no, I'm not okay with that. Like, these people didn't choose to be a part of this protest. So yeah, they were trying to fight me on it. Luckily, we ended up figuring it out and getting all those innocent people like out of harm's way, because that's just not a safe situation for anyone involved, right? But then I noticed, like I said, I started to see people, because now it's around like 4 o'clock, right? I started to see people arriving, other protesters arriving in like riot gear. And like they were like throwing stuff, like gallons of whatever it was. They had like homemade bombs and like shields. And I'm like yelling at them, because again, they are making everybody else look bad. They are there just inciting riots, inciting violence. And it's just, like I said, I don't support violence. It's just not what I believe in. And I feel like it only makes Trump and his administration double down on how like crazy and chaotic we are. When once again, it's like the majority of everybody that was there peacefully. It wasn't until later on that people started to arrive with other plans. So I don't want the narrative to get twisted and to be like everybody was there with chaos, because no, it was not like that. Earlier today was insanely peaceful. Everybody was there with the common goal of fighting for justice for these innocent immigrants that are being criminalized and treated like violent criminals. And now, I mean, it's just chaos. It's just absolute chaos. And I just feel bad for anybody that was caught in the middle of that. I honestly was super mad, though, that I saw cops arriving in horses, because why would you come to a riot on a horse? And then, of course, like I said, there were those idiot rioters that were throwing things at the police on horse. And I'm just like, this is just so wrong. Like, horses don't belong at a riot. They just don't. I get that people are angry. I get that this is frustrating. However, violence is not the answer. If anything, it's just giving Trump the excuse to do exactly what he wants, which is to send more military, escalate force, and to push for martial law. Under the Insurrection Act, he can declare martial law if the violence continues, even if local officials oppose it, which means more raids, more arrests, more fear, and less freedom for all of us. And who do you think he's going to target first? Black and brown communities, immigrants, protesters. So yeah, this chaos is exactly what he wants so that he can crack down on us. So please don't give him that narrative. Don't just hand him exactly what he wants. Our power is in our unity, in showing up loudly but peacefully. Because the second we turn violent, we stop being a movement and we become the excuse that they're looking for to get exactly what they want, which is martial law.
So yeah, there's a whole war going on in Los Angeles right now. Basically, ICE showed up in Los Angeles trying to deport people, and the people started protesting. They burning shit. They burning the whole city down. They've been throwing stones at the ICE people. They've been getting like tear gassing the ICE people. And the ICE people started using like military gear on them, like, you know, the military rifles and like the military spray. And that made even more protesters show up. They don't give a fuck. Baby, the city is on fire right now. They wild in LA. And the protesters not even just like fighting against the ICE people, but they also fighting against like first responders, police officers. I seen a video of like a black police officer. They maced him. What the fuck he do? I feel like that's a little too far. He ain't do shit. He trying to help y'all out. He colored too. Baby, this is worse than the George Floyd protest. I live in Minnesota, and I just remember like I would watch in Minneapolis back in 2020 when everybody would be like burning all the buildings and breaking into all of them. This is worse than damn George Floyd protests. And it was happening in my city. Baby, it's getting serious in LA. They done called the National Guards. Baby, the immigrants are going crazy. They are not playing. I've been watching the footage. They wilding out there. I ain't never seen no shit like that. But I'm just glad, like, you know, like, the immigrants are finally fighting back. Like, they're speaking up. You know, like, change is needed. Like, come on now. And none of this ICE shit even started until Donald Trump became president. Like, before he got reelected, like, you know, ICE was still a thing, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Like, you know, he didn't started sending ICE and shit. It was never this big of a problem. But it's really sad that it even had to come to this, but I'm just glad, like, you know, we're fighting back.
It's midnight where I am, but it's 10 p.m. and 10:30 in Los Angeles. I have found a feed of the ABC affiliate in LA. Oh, they got fireworks, y'all. It is... it's on Hulu. If you find the ABC News Live, you can watch it on Hulu. Or if you have a Samsung TV, that also will be on there. They shooting fireworks. Part of why I tuned back in was because your boy talking about he's sending in the troops, and I don't see nothing occurring that requires American troops down here. The majority of the crowd has dispersed. I'm seeing cars move about normally. And I also think that him saying that he was sending in the National Guard, people went down there where the National Guard was because they wanted to protest their presence. So as Gavin Newsom has continued to say, like, no, you have escalated this. And he's trying to call them insurrectionists, which is so important that we don't repeat that term. These were peaceful protesters. They are great at messaging lies. Just how they called, they turned the January 6th folks who were insurrectionists into tourists. So be very careful about how you message things. Other big thing I want to come out and talk about, black people. Y'all on my last nerve. I'm tired of I thought we were resting. I'm tired of the proudly boasting about not supporting this. I'm tired of all that. I'm tired of people that are mad that black people don't want to get out here and actively support and put their bodies on the line for this. I just want us all to shut up, because in this big conversation, we are centering ourselves. Especially as black Americans, black immigrants, that's a different story because they feel as though their plight is aligned with them. But for black Americans, you are centering yourself. Ain't nobody talking about us. Shut up. Just be quiet. You don't need to announce why you not supporting. You don't need to announce why you should support. Just do what you want to do and shut up. I'm like, y'all doing too much talking about black Americans when I'm sitting here watching Mexican Americans out here fighting and supporting their community. Quit talking about us. I ain't seen one person out here saying, where are the black Americans? Now, when they say that, then I got a response. But they're not saying that. So we quit talking about us and centering ourselves. Every movement does not require us. They're learning that. We don't have to be there. Y'all got it. I know that we have the most organizations to support this type of action. And we have a system that has been around longer than I've been alive to support this kind of action. But other folks can figure it out. They don't need us being all up in it. And so stop talking about us. You are centering us in a moment that's not about us. My goodness. As you can tell, it's on my last nerve, but I'm here watching. And like I keep saying, I've only seen the street shut down for briefly when they had the 101 shut down. They've been letting the cars just go through all this. So that's why I'm saying, like, this isn't disrupting the entire city, because when it gets rowdy, the cities get shut down. People just driving around just fine. Now, what they gonna do? I did see that they messed up some police cars. We're gonna hear about that to the end of time. Oh my God, that's gonna be like as if they tore down the White House. They're gonna complain about them doggone police cars. So just brace yourself for that. I'm even seeing folks driving nice cars into what is, downtown LA where stuff is going on. So the people don't seem to be concerned. I wouldn't be driving my luxury car down in these kind of situations, but clearly they think it's fine. So I'll continue watching.
Now y'all know damn well I ain't never been no Marquetta or no Buster. But the shit that's going on in LA right now, that shit is insane. I don't know if y'all have been seeing it, but I'm about to go ahead and explain a few things, okay? For you ignorant bitches in the back. So if y'all did or didn't know, there's a protest in LA going on right now between ICE and the Black and Browns. Mainly, it's an attack on the Mexican community, for real. And from what I'm seeing, it's a whole lot of black motherfuckers, surprisingly, saying that they shouldn't stand up for it. Are you bitches stupid? Are you fucking dumb? Let's be fucking for real. I don't know if you ditzy motherfuckers didn't realize, but all that shit was going on with us. Y'all didn't see the Latinos protesting with us? Are y'all fucking stupid? And if y'all did or didn't see that they was there, they were. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Fuck. This is not the time where motherfuckers is supposed to be dividing and shit. No, motherfuckers. Everybody's supposed to come together. This is a human rights problem, period. And not an ICE versus Mexican problem. So you dumb motherfuckers in the back that feel like y'all don't have shit to do with this, y'all are stupid as fuck. This is the time everybody is supposed to be on one motherfucking page, knit together like a motherfucking asshole. Everybody's supposed to be like this. And bitch, I'm not even from California, but what's right is fucking right, and what's wrong is wrong. Now kiss my ass. Thank you.
Quick question to my Hispanic community. Y'all want us to help y'all do that? What y'all doing in LA right now, y'all wanted us to help y'all do that. Cause nigga, y'all still gonna get deported. And then after that, we gonna have to turn around and fight for our own selves? Nah, while y'all somewhere over there, life gonna go on with or without y'all. I hate to say this, bruh. Nigga, we still gotta fight for us. I hate to say that, and it ain't no hard feelings, but bro, we can't jump in that. Cause you know what's gonna happen if we jump in, it's gonna really go down. Y'all can't protect us. It's gonna go down if we step out there. Y'all ain't got no say in it. If we go out there, it's gonna go down. Y'all playing. y'all ain't playing. Y'all really tearing stuff up. But if we show up out there, it's really gonna go down. So don't bite off more than what you can chew, cause it's gonna go down if we show up. So don't even ask us to pull up, cause some blood gonna get shed if we pull up. For real. So just stop trying to get us riled up, bro. We chilling. Y'all handle that. All power to the people. Get the
power. Once again, here motherfuckers go show they motherfucking ignorance. Y'all marching with a bunch of people who ain't even supposed to be here, tearing up Los Angeles, some of the poorest places in California. Make that make sense. Them poor people ain't got the money to come in and motherfucking fix none of that shit. And them police only gonna treat motherfuckers even worse once y'all move the fuck out of their areas. Y'all ain't up there tearing up Hollywood or Beverly Hills or Malibu. Y'all ain't tearing up San Diego. Y'all ain't tearing up shit like that because y'all know them motherfuckers will come in there and fuck y'all world up. Fuck your feelings. Facts is facts. Y'all tearing up shit that y'all know y'all can get away with tearing up with because motherfuckers don't give a fuck about us motherfuckers that ain't got no money. It's that simple. You go tear up them motherfucking rich people shit and see how far you get with y'all bullshit. Fuck your feelings. Facts is facts. You ain't trying that shit because you ain't stupid.
I'm so glad that the people of LA are just saying no to fascism, that they're just not gonna let ICE walk over them. They're like, no, you can't just take random people in our community and lock them in a basement with no light and give them minimal food. Like, we're not gonna take that shit. Like, we're only 6 months into his administration. Donald Trump has already fully turned ICE into the Gestapo, just grabbing random people in the streets, hiding their faces, sending them to like facilities and God knows where, either in Louisiana or to El Salvador or to like Libya, to like random countries, and people are like, no, you can't fucking do this. Like, shit is getting so bad that Gavin Newsom and the LAPD are not working with ICE. Don't get me wrong, I still hate Gavin Newsom. He's evil, and the LAPD is still like the most militarized police force second to the NYPD. Like, those guys suck, but thank goodness they're just not working with ICE on paper. Like, I saw that Trump wants to send the National Guard down to LA. Like, I'm telling you, man, this administration is evil. They want to end these people. My heart goes out to the people of LA. Seriously. Don't give them an inch. For every inch you give them is a mile they'll take.
Black Americans, come here. I want to talk about the LA riots, but in a way that's like removed from the emotion and the political charge that's in the air right now. I want to talk about it from like a clear-eyed, unbiased view. It'll be a little bit long, but just rock me for a bit, okay? First point is that, let's be very clear. Undocumented immigration is illegal in every country in the world. In every country in the world. I'm traveling right now. I've been out of America since February. In every country I've been to, they wanted to know the address I'm staying. That means Airbnb is in hotels. They wanted to know my return flight that I was leaving the country in. They wanted my phone number, my email address, my address in America, and my address in Europe. They wanted every single piece of information they could get about me to make sure I was not going to stay in their country. Why? Because undocumented immigration is illegal in every single country in the world. If you enter a country illegally, they can deport you, they can ban you. So like in Europe right now, I have until I think the 26th of June to leave. If I overstay that by an hour, they have automatic processes right now. I can be deported and banned from ever entering Europe again. As an American, I'm an American. I have an American passport, born in America. It's illegal in every country in the world. So let's get that clear. Now, when it comes to the riots and protesting, I'm 100% on board with people protesting peacefully, making your voices heard, all that good stuff. But my thing is, like, if you're protesting that you want to stay in America, why are you burning American flags? And nothing against other countries at all. But my point is for the narrative, right? Like, if I'm an unbiased bystander watching the news from a narrative perspective, why would you burn the American flag? The country you say you want to stay in, the country that you want to be a part of, the country that you're saying, I deserve to be here, I deserve a shot at American residence and American citizenship. This is the country you want. You're burning the flag of that country and hailing the flag of the country that you don't want to be in, the country that you fled from, the country that you say was so horrible that you ran from it illegally to risk deportation to come into America. From a narrative perspective, it makes no sense to me. It's like a lot of these people that are doing these riots and stuff, it's not even the people themselves. These are people who wanted a fight. They wanted a war. And this is going to be their excuse to start one with the government. So again, for people that look like me, black people, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to think. The only thing I'm going to say is we should be very, very cautious about what causes we choose to throw our hats in the ring of. I'll put it that way. I'm not saying we shouldn't support our Latino brothers and sisters. My father's Haitian. I'm part Latino, right? I'm not saying we shouldn't do any of that. What I'm saying is we need to be very, very careful about what fights we choose to fight and how we choose to represent ourselves at this particular moment in time, is what I'm going to say. There are people, I promise you, in power that are just itching. They're waiting for a reason to unleash hell on the people that they don't like. So be very, very careful with narrative in narrative shaping, 100%. And then my fourth thing is I think Americans, in traveling the world, we really need to give ourselves more grace, I think. We have standards on ourselves that nobody else in the world has on their countries. Nobody else in the world. America, I think, is the only country in the history of ever that when we achieved superpower status in the world, where we could go forth and conquer every country that we basically could, essentially decided not to. Other than, I would say probably the only exception to that would be Hawaii, maybe the Philippines, Puerto Rico. The Philippines has since got its independence. I would say the only example of that would be maybe Hawaii and Puerto Rico. But like, other than that, the United States could have gone forth and conquered the entire world, and the American people chose not to, mostly because we're individualistic and want nothing to do with the rest of the world. But we hold ourselves to the standard of not only we're not going to use our powers for evil, but we also must use our powers for good. And that has never been expected of any other country in the history of ever, including not now, that we have a moral obligation to go forth and help every other country that's struggling. That's never happened in the history of ever. And so I think Americans, we need to give ourselves more grace on both sides of the aisle and just in general of like, yeah, what people are asking of us, what the world is asking of us has never been asked of any country ever. And we need to be more gracious, I think, with each other. But yeah.
Hey, my name is CJ, and I'm here to talk about the ICE protests and the opportunity that we radicals, anti-capitalists, and leftists have in general to hone this to have revolutionary potential within the working class and actually spark some material and meaningful change for the working class and people in America in general. I'm also going to talk about how this thing is not an isolated incident under Trump and how ICE funding and ICE as an entity is bipartisan, and both entities of Democrats and Republicans have accelerated the monster of ICE to get what we have today. So when I'm saying out of LA, I really, really love it. I love seeing people resist the status quo and the powers that be, because ICE is literally an agent of settler colonialism. It's an agency to carry out settler colonialism. ICE and police in general are just teeth of the bourgeoisie and the ruling class to keep the proletariat in line. What I'm seeing in LA is the inevitable contradictions of liberalism coming out and wreaking out in its most nastiest forms. This is like Martin Luther King Jr. once said, rioting is the voice of the unheard. We have been unheard as black and brown people for far too long in this country, and we have been stripped of our rights as humans. We are saying no more to the state coming inside of our neighborhoods and homes and kidnapping our family members and loved ones. We are saying no more to state-sanctioned lynchings at the hand of the state by police officers and ICE agents. When we look at the issue of ICE, we have to realize this is a black and brown issue both, and it really is all of us issues, but the most communities that are impacted mostly by this are black and brown people. Any type of material or meaningful change is going to require some type of rioting or violence to occur, and this is what's happening in LA. Do not listen to the liberal mills and the liberals telling you that the only way that we get change is by peaceful protesting, because peaceful protesting does nothing. Any type of system that was changed or abolished under this country was made because of violence from the people who were the designated targets of this. Let this be enslavement, Jim Crow, segregation, etc., etc. And this is the same thing that we need to do against ICE. We as the community, we need to come together and protect each other because we're all we have. Democrats and Republicans both sell us out to billionaires. And this is where I get to the portion of the video where I prove that ICE is indeed a bipartisan project of settler colonialism. Both Democrats and Republicans facilitate this. I'm seeing a lot of liberals say, well, Biden did it in a different way. It's still settler colonialism, and he still accelerated the entity that is ICE. Kamala Harris was complicit in this too, because Kamala Harris was indeed the vice president. So I got to stop seeing liberals say that if Kamala Harris was president, this wouldn't be happening. Yes, it would. We also see this stuff will be happening because Tim Walz literally called in the National Guard and accepted the National Guard against BLM protesters in 2020. Democrat and Republican politicians are not friends of the working class, black people, brown people, indigenous people, etc., etc. So like I said before, Biden literally increased the ICE budgets and ICE funding that Trump left behind. Pause and read. This is why ICE is so hyper-militarized with their techniques and their actions. We also see that Biden and the Harris administration also increased the detainments and deportation from the Trump era. Pause and read. We also see a lot of liberals coming out and saying that Trump is violating people's due process. People's due process has been getting violated for the last decade. This is because Barack Obama implemented the process of violating due process. Obama literally signed in the bill that later turned into law that made it legal for indefinite detentions by ICE, for ICE to facilitate indefinite detentions of people. Pause and read. We can see that Obama and Trump literally have the same director of ICE, Tom Homan. Pause and read. So we see it's the same actors playing the same game. We as a people need to wake up and actually resist against the capitalist bourgeoisie, and the Democrats and Republicans are literally taking our neighbors while we're sleeping and taking our neighbors while we're at graduation. The people who are literally kidnapping our family and loved ones. Democrats nor Republicans care about you. The only people who give a damn about you are your community members and elders. If you're still looking for a politician or still trying to vote your way out of this, it's too late. Democrats and Republicans both accelerated this system to a point of no return and literally put us in open air fascism. So this is why I say we need to stop thinking that politicians are going to save us. The only people that have us is us.
For all the brown people that are assuming that black people are against brown people because we're not on the front lines with these protests, a lot of us not. It's not that. All right, me personally, I love brown people. I love Mexican people. I love El Salvadoran people. I love Puerto Rican, Dominican. I love them all. They're some of the most gracious people you could ever meet. And we have more in common than we have in difference. Truth be told, when you study his story, you learn that very fast. All right, let me just say that. It's not that brown people. What it is, we have learned a huge lesson from you guys. Okay? When we're on the front line, marching for our issues and stuff like that, majority of y'all on the construction site, on the side selling your tortillas, your pupusas, your beans and all that. You're working your job, focusing on your family, your business, and growing La Raza. We learn a little from you guys. So now that it's not particularly us, our fight front first and foremost, we're just trying to build our stuff because we're so torn and broken. You got to remember, these fights used to be all about civil rights and blacks. They have turned dramatically by the primary party that we vote for to immigration. Not a bad thing. We cool with it. You don't see us beefing with y'all for all the benefits and stuff y'all getting. We neutral. But we don't think that it's the most intelligent thing right now to be on the front line when we need to be building us a lesson that we have adopted from you. So I love all my brown people. We love you. It's not that. It's that we can't be deported. And if we get to a point where we have to step in, like I said the last video, we're going to step in fast because we love you. But we just going to work, building our business, trying to build our stuff up so we can protect our community, so we can understand the expertise and unity. I hope this helped. Go down in the comment, prove me wrong.
Let us move into the heart of the matter, beginning with a seemingly obviously question. Why was he filming? Yes, I know you're asking yourself, why was he filming? Guys, it is 2025. We're acutely aware that without cameras, without documentation, the truth, especially the nuanced and often uncomfortable truth, can be buried easily. We've seen it time and again. Law enforcement narratives can be skewed. Federal agencies can conceal information. News clips can be selectively edited, and individuals can be unfairly smeared. This brother standing in the midst of that protest was doing what our community has historically been doing and continues to do, documenting the truth when no one else is willing or able to. The camera was more than just a recording device. It was a form of protection. It served as a shield against potential misrepresentation, and a weapon of clarity in a moment fraught with confusion and conflicting narratives. And let us be entirely real. He wasn't standing there in the middle of a street risking his safety just to go viral. He was documenting it because in situations where chaos erupts, it is often a community that gets blamed first. So we protect ourselves in the only way we know how, with irrefutable receipts, with undeniable evidence. And we know that solidarity has limits. But truly, the painful part, the element that truly stings, is the behavior of that protester who turned on him. The suspicion, the accusation in their voice. Why are you recording? It's as if he was the actual threat, the real danger in that situation. Imagine. And this is where many black people draw a distinction. Often termed as solidarity, because solidarity often sounds like this: march for our rights, post about our suffering, show up for our people. Yet the very moment we dare ask for that same energy, that same unwavering support in return, we often are met with silence, with crickets. Where were the massive headline grabbing protests when black immigrants were being deported under ICE? Where was the outrage, the fire, when Haitian asylum seekers were reportedly whipped by men on horseback at the border? Our pain, our struggle, our very existence often gets overlooked, dismissed, or we are told that it's not the same, that it's incomparable. We are perpetually asked to be foot soldiers, the unwavering advocates for everyone else's struggle. But when we turn and ask with genuine sincerity, will you stand for us too? That's when things get very quiet. Guys, this black man standing there had a role. He was not male documenting. He was watching history unfold. He was witnessing confusion, rage, and the collective expression of the anger from whites, Latinos, and other activists pouring their emotions into the streets. And you could almost hear his unspoken thoughts. This is not my fight. Not in this way, but I'm still here, watching, still present. This sentiment, this internal dialogue mirrors how great many of us feel. We are not cold-hearted. We are not without empathy. We simply understand patterns of historical neglect, of selective outrage, of predictable outcomes. Because what happens when things go awry? When riot police arrive in full gear, when shots are fired, or arrests are being made, that same black man, regardless of his stance or involvement, often becomes a suspect, a statistic, a scapegoat. It doesn't matter what his side he's on, he'll often be the first to get cuffed. And there is the selective rage and convenient allies, because You have individuals in that process yelling the F word to ICE, engaging acts of vandalism against federal vehicles, and that rage, let us acknowledge, is often valid. ICE has been responsible for truly horrific actions, families ripped apart, children held in cages, but we must ask ourselves a critical question. Will that same passionate crowd have shown up with the equal force and numbers for a black man shot just 10 blocks away by the LAPD? Will they have flooded the streets with the same intensity if it was a black single mother facing unjust eviction? This is not about comparing struggles or creating a hierarchy of pain. This is about a truth struggle. Black folks are profoundly tired of being asked to empty our emotional and physical tanks for movements that won't even extend as a symbolic gas card in our return for our invaluable contributions. If you genuinely desire true solidarity, then you must cease treating black observers like intruders, like suspicious outsiders at your own protests. Guys, I mean, the historical memory and the present day hypocrisy. You know, America's foundation has always been built upon the backs of black pain, and regrettably on the convenient of amnesia of almost everyone else. When immigrant communities articulate their visions for the American dream, they often, perhaps unintentionally, fail to acknowledge the nightmare that black people have endured for centuries to even lay the groundwork for that dream. When various movements passionately call for justice, they often forget that black people have been begging, screaming, and fighting for it since 1969. And now, when we simply choose to observe, when we take a breath or choose not to jump into every single struggle, we are inexplicably branded as divisive, as unhelpful, even as traitors to the cause. That, my friends, is not allyship. That unequivocally is exploitation. Okay, guys, before we go into my final thoughts, I want to thank everyone who came out and expressed themselves and sparked this conversation. I want to appreciate the courage of every individual who filmed that moment and the willingness of others to share their perspectives online. My videos is just a catalyst for important conversation, and we honor those who contribute to the ongoing dialogue. Now, guys, to the protesters, check yourselves. Guys, to those people who confronted the black man in that video, I urge you with all sincerity, check yourselves. You declare that you want freedom, that you are fighting for liberation. If that is truly your aim, then do not replicate that very same suspicion, the very same prejudice, the very same fear-mongering that the system you claim to oppose has taught you. That brother standing there with his camera had every inherent right to record. He had every right to be a witness. He is not your op. He is not your federal agent, and he is certainly not the reason that ICE is terrorizing your community. He's a person living under the system that has systematically crushed his people for centuries, and yet he still had the profound decency to show up and quietly observe you fighting for yours. And to my black brothers and sisters watching this video, I want you to speak directly to you. You are not crazy. You are not cold-hearted. You are simply survivors who have been burned far too many times. You have marched, you have fought, you have sacrificed, and yes, you have died. You have done more for the cause of the justice in America than almost anyone else, and yet you still find yourselves questioned, challenged, and doubted for simply observing. I want you guys to protect your peace, protect your dignity, film everything, and always remember this crucial truth. Just because they scream doesn't mean they truly see you. Guys, I want you to know that injustice tragically wears many faces. And sometimes even the very people who claim to be fighting against it can inadvertently morph into what they purport to hate. Let that black man in the video serve as a powerful, enduring reminder. We are not merely allies in someone else's struggle. We are the authors of our own ongoing struggle and a foundational pillar of justice in this nation. And we owe silence to no one, not now, not ever. So guys, if you felt resonance of this message, if the words struck a chord with you, please take a moment to like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you have ever experienced that unsettling tension, being in the middle of someone else's fight, yet still being treated like a stranger, like an outsider, your experiences are valuable and your voice matters. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay smart, and most importantly, stay sane. Peace out.